Let me pull up this. Are you working? The intermission screen. Close cam. That's the close cam screen and scene. Yeah, beautiful. We love to see it.
Labor of love, a passion that I have for Star Wars. Look, when I was a kid in the 90s and 2000s, we're not talking about these new age Star Wars fans that Disney has amassed. It wasn't really all that cool to be talking about Star Wars all the time. It was more of like a hush-hush secret thing, but only amongst your friends and nerds and geeks, real geeks. Like now you have like e-girls being like, I'm such a nerd, I'm such a geek. It's like, no, you're an opportunist. Anyways, back then it was like the real nerds, and Star Wars was extremely important.
Don't you hate it when women prey on the things that you love by liking them? It makes me so angry.
Important to me. It was a connection I had with my dad, my mom. I did not, with myself, I saw my heroes in Luke Skywalker. I saw heroism in Luke Skywalker. I saw the hero's tale in Luke Skywalker. And then when the prequel trilogy came out, I was all about Anakin, because I saw so many of my flaws in Anakin Skywalker. And I was like, oh my God, cool. Like I can learn from this, and I can maybe adapt and change and see like where I'm headed if I don't change my ways.
I don't know what this like yap session, this sap story yap session has anything to do with Mark Hamill saying no. Is this just like a whole thing about how he's like a real fan of Star Wars because he cried when Anakin was like, from my point of view, you're evil, and bro fell to his knees and he said, and in crying through his hands, he said, so true, so true, so true. He couldn't even press play again. Honestly, he may even had to cry himself to sleep after that. That one hit hard. That one hit real hard. From my point of view, you suck. Oh, guys will look at that and go, hell yeah. Yeah, he's like one of those gatekeepers, like, you're not a real loser like me. Back when we used to get bullied for our loser hobby, none of you all would have hopped on. But now none of you get bullied, and you aren't as strong as us. You aren't like us, okay? How many teeth have you gotten knocked out for lightsaber fighting in the kindergarten? How many? That's what I thought. Real fake ass. Are you a woman? Anyways. Hey, stop stealing my flow, bro.
I didn't have too many friends growing up, and so Star Wars for me,
don't worry, we can tell,
along with Dragon Ball, was an extremely important, vital part of my life that kept me around through many hardships, and you guys know what some of them are, who have been with the channel for a while. And so for me, I'd come home, I'd read my Star Wars comic books, I'd read my Star Wars books, I'd watch the movies over and over and over again, I'd watch the behind the scenes, and I'd go in the Star Wars forums. I'd go on different Star Wars forums online, and I'd make friends. Those were my friends online. And so Star Wars for me was an extremely important place, not just because I loved the story, but because of the amazing feeling of connectiveness and belonging that it gave me.
I gotta speed this up.
The community was so different back then. It was truly a community that discussed Star Wars. But now I feel like what Disney has done is they created this version of Star Wars that's become very political. And if you don't like the sequel trilogy, then you fall on one side of the political spectrum. And if you do, then you're on the other side. What Disney has done is they created this version of Star Wars that's become very political. And if you don't like the sequel trilogy, then you fall on one side of the political spectrum. And if you do, then you're on the other side.
I don't know. Hasn't Star Wars always been political? It's like an entire series about like an empire going through like peoples and species and abducting them and enslaving them and taking their worlds and all this type of stuff, and like a whole cop force with a special power that exerts their will over over other people, and like a rebel group fighting against a genocidal colonial force. Like, what are you talking about? War? Star Wars? Political? Can you even imagine? I love democracy. Like, can you even imagine that being a political thing? Here's the thing. I think conservatives and more conservative minded people have gotten more quote unquote political because they start yelling about things that they dislike more, the politics that they dislike more in shows that they watch. Like, all of the media that we watch is kind of a product of the political atmosphere that we're in. That the show was made in. And so, like, Star Wars was also, wasn't actually, wait a second. The prequels began with a trade dispute causing galactic tension. Yeah, I don't know, man. That seems super political to me. Rebel Alliance was literally inspired by the Viet Cong. Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. It's just like, it seems like all of these things are very clear. It's not more political. You just disagree. I mean, it's that old thing about how people think when you're around a group of people who already agree with something, you don't view it as political. It's just something that exists, right? But when you add in people that disagree with something, then it becomes political, because for a lot of people, politics is things that you just disagree with, right? Politics is something that you can disagree with. If none of you obviously disagree with any of the politics and what you're watching, none of you will think of it as political. It's just like everybody's just saying so true statements. You're all just everybody's just dropping fat bangers, but nobody's saying anything political because you already agree. But once you're brought with an ideology, an idea that you don't really necessarily agree with, now it becomes like super political. I don't know, it's just weird. How can the world can you say that the Star Wars, it's like saying Star Trek and Star Wars are non-political. Like, what are you saying? I thought it was Gen Alpha. That was the generation that couldn't read and had no media literacy. Was it all of them, actually? Were we all illiterate the whole time? Maybe Star Wars was the friends we made it along the way, as long as they weren't women.
And that can go for shows as well. It never was like that. It was like, oh, you just don't like the originals, or you don't like the prequels, or whatever it might be, Legends or whatever. But nowadays it's completely different. And so it riles up a lot of these political freaks online who will try and do anything they can to bring you down because they think you fall in some sort of political spectrum, because to them in the US, politics is end all be all. I'm just a Star Wars fan. My political beliefs are my political beliefs, and I don't think that has any sort of business to do with you, right? So,
but here's the thing, like, that's true if you would just shut up and not talk about them. The problem is that you do actually talk about them. The problem is he like comments on Andrew Tate, like on Andrew Tate interviews on his like work account, and then he talks about politics and stuff on his work account. You can't go, my politics are me and they have nothing to do with you. If I had no clue what your politics were and you just like shut up and just talked about ranking every single clone trooper videos, if you did that, then like, sure, you know what, go ahead, great, then nobody would care. But you do. Instead, like, you do it on live streams and stuff. So like, how in the world are you gonna say how this is basically like saying, how dare you comment on something that I said? Like, okay. Also, like, the Star Wars's influence was of the Vietnam War. Okay, non-political series, just so you know.
And that goes vice versa. I think at the end of the day, we need to realize that I am out here creating the best Star Wars content that I can, right? May not be the best for you, but obviously I've created a very large following, the largest following of any other Star Wars content creator in the world. And I've been doing it single-handedly for almost 8 years. And I think that speaks volumes. And so I thank you guys for that. And because of that, I want to give you guys projects that I can't make money off of, but I'm sinking hundreds of thousands of dollars into, like Vader Episode 1, 2, 3, like this new Luke Skywalker project, where we're going to be taking aspects of Legends, of the real Luke, not the Last Jedi Luke, the real Luke Skywalker, and making it as live action as we can, just for you guys' viewing pleasure. The first episode is going to be 8 minutes. There's no ads running on it. It's not being crowdfunded. Literally paying for it from everything I earn from the channels, all the channels I have, as well as the merch and the sabers. So it's your guys' support that's allowing me to do all this. Anyways, to Mark, there are many, many people out there that are using his likeness as Luke Skywalker to create fan film projects, and many of them are monetizing it. Many of them are crowdfunding for it. And my agreement with Lucasfilm, and I believe I was one of the first ones to create the most ambitious Star Wars fan film project, which was Vader Episode 1, which I'm very proud of, which cost $160,000 of my own money, non-crowdfunded, non-advertised, you know. My agreement with Lucasfilm was that I would not crowdfund and I wouldn't place ads in it. And to that I said, okay, no problem. Thanos style, fine, I'll do it myself. Cool. And I'm doing that with Episode 2, doing that with Episode 3. I've done that with the 2 cinematics. I've spent over 300 grand so far on Vader. And that's because I want to see it done myself. And I want to give you guys something for giving me this platform. And because I'm a Star Wars fan, I just think it's cool. I'm quite successful now at this age. I'm almost 34. And I've worked really, really hard to get here. And if it was so easy, then everybody would be able to do it. To be honest, you can.
$400,000 on like Star Wars fan projects is kind of crazy. But I mean, apparently he's rolling in it like that. Just so you know, all of this is a deflection for somebody. All of this is a deflection for somebody simply asking if they asked the guy if they could use his likeness. Bro's going crazy for all of this. All they did was ask if you asked if they could use his likeness. You could have just said no. He didn't even say that they couldn't use his likeness. All he said is that he didn't ask. It's just weird. He's so upset. I don't know. I guess he wanted to use this as a rant, as an opportunity to go on a dick sucking adventure. $300K is good indie film budget, I guess. Still a whole lot of money. But whatever, I guess he really just loves Star Wars. We all love something, don't we?
Just depends how much you love Star Wars and how much you want to be making the best content you can. It's a labor of love. It's really all about passion. So, you know, I understand that people will always be jealous or angry or want to shut me down because I have a large voice. But I want to let you know that back in 2016 when I started, I didn't have a large voice. You know, I had 0 subscribers and I didn't rob a bank to get to where I am. I didn't steal anything from any other channel to get to where I am. I just created the content I wanted to make. I'm very true to my word. I'm very straightforward. I'm very blunt. And I'll tell you how I feel. I'm not going to swindle you. I'm not going to trick you. I don't want anything from you. I'm just going to tell you what I think about Star Wars. And if you don't like that, then, you know, I guess these are the kinds of tweets and messages and shit that I get. But it's never going to stop me. I'm never.
It wasn't even about you.
Right? You have to realize I'm literally like...
You didn't get this tweet. Mark Hamill did.
At this point. Like, there's nothing that will phase me, stop me, make me go away, make me stop creating content. Was actually akin to the real Luke Skywalker. And not the perversion that Disney created to line their own pockets in what they think was Luke. But anyways, look, maybe I'll just create it for myself. And maybe I'll just upload it on Twitter or Instagram or whatever it might be. So anyways, I definitely want to leave with one thing in mind, that don't go to this person's social media or anyone's social media and berate them or even give them any clout or anything like that. That always ends up falling back on me, and then they whine at me and complain at me saying that I'm responsible. I do want to say a big shout out to this dude for obviously within 2 minutes grabbing a screenshot. I mean, he's obviously subscribed, so appreciate it. Thank you for the free marketing. This project's going to be pretty dope, and I hope you guys are looking forward to it. And I hope you guys are looking forward to Vader Episode 2. We're working really hard at it, and really appreciate you guys' support on everything that you do, whether it's watching videos, sending super chats, buying the merch, buying the sabers. This is how I'm able to afford all of these extracurricular activities and projects to bring you guys without monetizing them, without crowdfunding them. So I really appreciate this.
I do not care. Okay. Wait, does anybody know who William Shatner is? Best known for his portrayal of James T. Kirk in the Star Trek franchise. From his 1966 debut as the captain of the Starship Enterprise and the second pilot of the first Star Trek television series, to his final appearance as Captain Kirk in the 7th Star Trek feature film, Star Trek Generations, in 1994. That's a lot of time. Bros, he's 92? Is that a real question? Yes, it's a real question. I don't know who the fuck these people... I don't keep up with actors' names. If I ever ask, who's this, what's this, in referring to media, it is a real question. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It is a real question. I did not know who this man was until I read the first couple sentences of his Wikipedia page. Anyways, I asked that for a very specific reason. What would you like walk out and is this really like that crazy? Would you walk out into the street and be like, If you were like one of those TikTok interviewers and you walk up to like 100 people and you go, do you know William Shatner and what he's like famous for? You think like 100 out of 100 people would be like, oh yeah, I love William Shatner for his 1966 debut as Captain James T. Kirk in the hit media series Star Trek, and everybody would be like, so true? Maybe. I could be the geezers would. I guess so. I guess the geezers would. My apologies, I'm an old man. That's okay. Is it Tech War? One of those? Yeah, one of them Tech Wars. He also did stints in Twilight Zones. Isn't the Twilight Zone so old it was recorded in black and white? But this guy was born in 1933. He was literally born. He was born like before minorities had rights. He was born a little while after women got the right to vote. He's so old. That's crazy. How does he get so old? Anyways, the reason why I'm saying that is because there's some movements going around about how William Shatner tweeted, by the way, real Star Wars theory, I don't like you either. Hashtag real nerd trend. Goddamn. Even William Shatner came out to be like, I don't like you, bro. I don't like you either. I don't like you, bro. God damn. None of us like you here, just so you know. Dunked on by 93-year-old Shatner. You know what's crazy is that I found William Shatner's Twitter, and he tweets a lot. Like, he's kind of old, but he's constantly tweeting. I think that's kind of wacky. That's kind of wild, if I'm going to be honest with you. At 2:40 a.m. too. What's this old man doing? Grandpa, go to sleep. That's cool though. My question is there more stuff out there about this? I'm so curious. Let Grandpa cook. Wait a second. I gotta dig through. Apparently people have been yapping. I gotta dig through some of this. Wait 1 second. Oh, he's tweeting like almost at this very moment. Oh, he spends a lot of time tweeting. I had no clue. Here, let's see. Oh, he retweeted this. The people in the comments who don't like Star Wars theory and say he is toxic are the insufferable ones, instigating and wanting Star Wars theory to be attacked. Also, it doesn't matter if he didn't get permission. He used a deep fake animation of Luke Skywalker. Wait, what? It doesn't matter that he didn't get permission. He used a deep fake animation of Luke Skywalker. Is that supposed to be like, wait, Your Honor, I can't get sued for using his likeness and not paying him or asking for permission. As you see, I deep faked his face and made his mouth say things that he never would. As you see, Your Honor, I cannot be held liable for this. Fans have been doing this for years now. People need to learn how to separate the character from the actor. It's his face. It's his face. Unless he made like a completely new like Luke Skywalker. Does anybody know? Did he do that? Did he like invent a new Luke Skywalker with a completely different face that's not based off of Mark Hamill's depiction of the character? If that's the case, then like, sure. But then he would have to deal with Disney, which I wouldn't want to personally, but you can't separate the actor from the character if you're artificially using their likeness. Yes, you can. If it's Luke, then it's not Mark. If he used Mark, no in character, then there's a difference. Oh, this person is stupid. Oh no, they don't know how laws work. They have no clue how laws work. Wait. So they think like when you play a character in a show, then you no longer become the person you actually are. You genuinely become the character that you're portraying. So that means that your voice and face and likeness are not yours. They're actually the characters. You're the character. And so like if somebody uses it for something else, or makes you say something while you're in the character, that's actually the character saying something and not you. No, that's not how that works. Yo, you need to take like a law course really quick, or watch a couple of like videos or something. If it's his face, then yes, you can sue. Mark sold his likeness as Luke. No one needs to ask Mark for his permission to use the Luke image. No BF2 creators used another model and then adjusted the image to look like the young Luke. There's nothing to do with... Okay, wait. Is that the same issue with Battlefront 2? Wait. Mark Hamill has one L in his name, right? Okay. Yeah, no, that's not how that works. Super cool, though. Super interesting and cool, though. I'm looking through some of his comments. These are interesting. Somebody asked him to take a break because he's... for his own mental health. He said, the day I allow these people, especially like that group, to affect my mental health is the day I fail as a man. Somebody said people latching onto his e-girl statement are really exposing themselves. And then he said a bunch of OnlyFans girls twirling lightsabers claiming to love Star Wars equals profit. God damn. All of this over a 2-letter word. And then wait, he's just like, oh wait, he wrote this in response to Mark Hamill saying no. Your portrayal of Luke helped me in more ways than you can understand in my life. If there's any fan project I can make that you don't want created, I will gladly cease and desist. I appreciate and respect you. In the meantime, I hope this not-for-profit fan project I'm developing is something that you'll enjoy along with many OT fans. And then they say all of this over a 2-letter word on a post from an opportunist. Nobody trying to stir the pot over a fan project I'm making. Opportunist nobody trying to stir the pot. Man, he's commenting on a lot of this shit. They just asked like if you had used his likeness. I don't know if you actually did something. Here's my thing. If you actually did something wrong, you can't get mad at somebody else for pointing out the fact that you did something wrong. That's crazy. You can't be like, oh, everything was fine and well about me doing something incorrect until somebody told somebody else about it. Like, what are you talking about? Okay. Sure. Super weird. Weird stuff. Is this the conservative brain? It is the conservative brain. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.